Hello all, in this particular tutorial we will learn how to encrypt RMAN backups and decrypt RMAN backups, and when we decrypt this particular backup we'll restore them on a different server. So we will learn how to restore the encrypted backups on a different server. RMAN backup encryption allows you to encrypt backups in three different ways: transparent encryption, password encryption, dual mode encryption. Transparent encryption is a default mode and uses the Oracle wallet. When restoring, wallet is required on target server. Password encryption of backup is the mode which uses only password protection. When restoring, password is required which was used for encryption. So the same password is required for the decryption as well. Dual mode encryption is the mode where when you take the backup, you need wallet and password. While encryption, when restoring, you can either specify password or the wallet. You don't need both. You can use either the password to decrypt the backup or the wallet to decrypt the backups. So dual mode allows you to restore the backups using either the wallet or password. But when you take the backup, both is required. Now, I would like to give you a warning. Stop before you proceed. Transparent encryption of backup. If wallet is lost, so you have taken the backup using this method, and if the wallet is lost, you will not be able to restore these backups. Password encryption. If the password is lost, you will not be able to restore these backups. Dual mode encryption. If both wallet and password is lost, you will not be able to restore these backups. So dual mode, if you have either the wallet or password, you will still be able to restore. But if both is gone, then only you will not be able to restore this. So this allows you some kind of flexibility. Now, how to create transparent encryption? How to set up the transparent encryption? You will create the wallet. While taking the backup, you can either specify this particular RMAN parameter, configure encryption for database on. If you set this particular backup parameter, all RMAN backups as created by this database will use TDE by default. Or override the persistent encryption configuration for RMAN session using this set encryption on. So this particular setting will be only effective for that RMAN session. While restoring, configure the wallet on target server and restore as you normally do. So restore doesn't change. Restore will be same as you normally do, except it will look for the wallet. So you need to have the wallet on a target server. If you want to use the password encryption, while taking the backup, you will say set encryption on identified by password only. So this only says that we want to use the password protection only. And while restoring, you need to specify the same password, set decryption identified by. So when you want to restore this particular backups, you'll say set decryption identified by. Dual mode encryption of backups. Dual mode encryption backups, you need wallet. So you need to take the wallet. And while taking the backup, you have to specify this. This is the end. So you need to add this RMAN parameter, configure encryption for database on, and you will also specify the password. While restoring, you either need the wallet or either need the password. You don't need both. Either you can use just the wallet or either you can use the password. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you in this particular tutorial how to take the transparent backup and how to restore them, how to take the password encrypted backups, how to restore them. But I will not show you how to restore this particular backup because this restore is either the wallet based, which is covered in the first lab, or it is password based, which is covered in the second lab. So the restore is pretty same, but I will show you how to take the backup. So there will be three labs. The first lab will be backup and restore using transparent encryption, backup and restore using password encryption, only the backup using dual mode encryption. Now, since this particular tutorial relies on the wallet, I will just give you the steps on how to set up the wallet. This is not a wallet tutorial. So there are other tutorials that I have covered on how to set up the wallet. You can watch those tutorials. This particular tutorial is about just taking the RMAN backup. So I'll just show you how to set up the wallet. To do that, we will be setting this particular parameter wallet root in the SP file. And since we set it at the SP file, we will restart the database. Once the database is restarted, we will use another parameter called TDE configuration, and we'll say key store configuration is equal to file scope is equal to both. Once we have set these initialization parameters, using the administrator key management, we'll create the key store. We will open the key store. We will set the master encryption key, and we'll create auto login key store. So these are the four things: create key store, open key store, set the key, create auto login key store. Now that we have seen everything, let's connect to our database server. So let's connect to here. I have got one database. Let me set the environmental variable. Just give me a minute. Okay. So what first thing that we'll do is like we'll create a directory. This is where the wallet will be stored. So I'm going to create this particular directory. Once that is done, let me connect to the database. And let me first we need to set this wallet root to the location where the wallet will be, and then we will restart the database and we'll set another parameter. So let me do this all together rather than doing it one by one. So the database will be restarted, and this particular parameter will be, I've initiated all the commands in sequence. So as you can see, the database has been shut down, and right now it is getting restarted. So give it a minute, and that's done. And looks like all the parameters have been set. So now what we will do, we will go ahead and run these four commands: create key store, set key store open, set key, and create auto login. So let's do that one by one. That's done. That's done. That's done. And that's done. So looks like everything is done. The first command was create key store. Second command was set key store open. Third command was create master key. And the fourth command was create auto login key store. So we have done all of this. Now what we are going to do, because we will be restoring the backup, we'll create an P file from SP file, because we need to restore this, so we need a P file. So I'll just create the P file. Now we are ready to take the encrypted backups. So to do that, let's connect to RMAN session. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you this particular parameter, and you can see this particular parameter is off. So I'm not going to change this particular parameter. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the encryption on, and I'm going to, so now I've set the encryption on, and I'm going to take the backup database plus archive log. Now this particular backup will be encrypted in nature. This particular backup, because I've set encryption on this particular backup, and this particular backup is using the Oracle wallet behind the scene. So if we don't have that wallet, then we will not be able to restore this particular backups on the target server. Pretty important that we need this particular wallet for restoring. So now what we'll do, we'll exit from the, and what we are going to do, we are going to transfer these backups. So we'll transfer the init file that we created, create P file. So we'll transfer the init file, password file, and we will transfer this backup. So let me first transfer this on the target server DB2. So here is the DB1 where the backups are running, and the DB2, which is in a sky blue or blue, whatever color you want to call it, this is where I will be restoring. So the DB1 is the source server, DB2 is the target server. Whatever backups will be running on DB1, restore will happen on DB2. White for DB1, sky blue is for DB2. Now let's transfer this particular backup. So first we'll transfer the init file. That's done. We will transfer the password file. That's done. We will check, we'll go to our backup location, and I'll run the ls-l. So this is the control file backup, and this is one of them will be archive log and one of them will be backup piece. This is the snapshot file. We don't need the snapshot file. However, I don't want to spend my time doing SCP, so I'll say SCP star. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to transfer them to the second server. So that's done. So now our work on the source server is done. Let's go ahead and try to restore this particular backup, encrypted backup, on a target server. So to do that, first what we need to do is we need to set up an etc aura tab, because we need to set up the environmental variable. So etc aura tab, let's set that particular variable. That's done. Now we will set the environmental variable. That's done. Now what we are going to do is we are going to start our database using the P file that we transferred in the no mount mode. So give it a minute for the database to come in the no mount mode. And now I'm going to try to restore the backup, and the restore backup is going to fail. The restore backup is going to fail. I'm going to restore the control file first. And before restoring, I need to know what is the name of that control file. So this is the name of the control file. Let me put it here. And I'm going to try to restore this control file. And this control file I will not be able to restore on the target server. And the reason for that is because this control file is encrypted in nature and I'm not yet copied the wallet or set up the wallet on the target server. So I'll show it to you. So I'm going to say restore control file, and you can see unable to decrypt the backup. So this control file as well as the main backup data, the main backup is encrypted in nature. And when I try to restore the control file, it failed because it is unable to decrypt the backup, because the wallet is not open, which means that I won't be able to restore this particular backup if without configuring the wallet on the target server. So let's do that. To what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a directory on my target server, and I'm going to get all the files from the source. So I just created this directory, and if I go to this directory, this is completely empty. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer the wallet files from the source wherever I've created the wallet. Same files I'm going to transfer on my target. So this is the same location. I'm going to transfer them to the target server. And now once I've done that, if I now run ls-l, you can see that we got this C wallet SSO file and P2L wallet file. So I transferred those files from the source server to the destination server. And now if I go back to the RMAN target, I should be able to, if everything looks good, then I should be able to, now we will no longer get that error. And let's try to do the same restore once again. And this time the restore should go fine. And you can see finish restore. And now what we'll do, we will open the database in mount mode, and we will restore the database, recover the database, alter database open mode, select open mode and select it. And instead of wasting your time, I'm going to run all of these commands in sequence because I don't want to take your time. It's a long tutorial because we are going to do 3 things. So let me run this, and while restore is happening, I'll just pause it and come back. Now the restore is still happening, as you can see, and we got this final warning, but that's fine. And I open the database, and if you see here, when I restore the database, absolutely no change. My restore commands, my recover commands are exactly same. So behind the scene, it used that particular wallet. So I don't have to tell RMAN that this is an encrypted backup, because RMAN is going to look for the wallet, is going to open the key, and is going to decrypt the backups for us. And the restore recovered procedure remains exactly same. This is the beauty of TDE, the transparent data encryption, that you don't have to change your restore recover scripts if you are using the TDE, transparent data encryption. And as you can see, we were able to open the database, read write. Let's prove that. Actually, let me connect as SQL plus SSDBA, and let me run this. Select name, comma, open mode from $database, and we should see that it's the same database. Let's take this on the source server as well. So let me connect, and we should get Aura 19D. So we have successfully from DB1 white from to DB2 blue, we have successfully restored our backup, encrypted backup, the TDE encrypted backup. And let me just explain what I did. While taking the backup, I said I configured the wallet, and only thing that I did is set encryption on. This one command tells Oracle that the next backups will be encrypted in nature. Now, if you don't want to do this again and again, if you don't want to specify this, this is a session level parameter. If you want to make it, you can say configure encryption for database on. And if you set this particular parameter, then going forward, whatever backups that you take will be encrypted in nature. They will be encrypted using the wallet TDE method. They will be encrypted. So we have learned how to do the TDE backups and how to restore. Now the second part of the lab is we will be learning how to take the password, how to encrypt the backups using password, how to decrypt them. So let's go ahead. So to do that, what I need to do is I need to drop this particular database. So I have a small script. What it does, let me show it to you. It's nothing fancy. All that it does is like it just shuts the database in abort mode and removes all the table space, redo logs, temp file, control file, etc. etc. Let's run this. So it's doing that behind the scene. And what I'll also do is like I will clear the old backups, because those backups are no longer required to me. So I'll delete all the backups from the source, because those are TDE encrypted backups, and I'll get confused. So I'm going to clean my system. So I've deleted all the backups. I've deleted the backups from the source as well as targets. So now what we are going to do, we are now going to connect to our database once again, and this time we are going to encrypt the backup using the password. So I'm on DB1, the source server, and now the show all parameter, it is still off. Sorry. Show all will show you that the configured database encryption for a database is still off. So I'm not changing this particular parameter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the password encryption. And to do that, what command I'll run is set encryption on identified by password. This is the password protection. And this only states that only password protection is used. And let me run this. So that's done. Now the backup that I'm going to take, that particular backup, so I'll take the backup and exit out of the RMAN session. The backup that I'll take this time will be password protected. It will not use the wallet. It will be password protected. And this password is what I need to specify on the target server while restoring this particular backup. So I need this particular password on the target server. So let's wait for this particular backup to finish. Give it a minute. And almost done. So that's good. Everything looks good. Now let's go to I've already deleted them, but let's verify. Yes, everything is empty. Let's transfer the backups from the source server once again. So these are the backups, control file, archive log, etc. etc. So let's transfer all of them back to the target. Again, I don't need the snapshot control file, but I don't want to waste time. So I'm using SCP star. So everything in this particular directory is getting transferred. Now I'm going to go to the target server. And again, what I need, I'm not going to transfer the, and here we just got 0 files. Now if I run this, you can see all the files have come. This is the control file. So let me take this control file. And now when we restore this particular backup, when we try to restore this particular backup, we need to specify this decryption password. So what I'll do, we need to start the database in no mount mode. So let's do that. Give it a minute. That's done. Now let's connect to RMAN session. And let's try to, without specifying the password, let's try to decrypt the backup or restore the backup. It's going to fail for sure. And you can see unable to decrypt the backup. So now what we are going to do, we are going to set this particular password, and then we are, let me exit. Let me set that particular password. And now if I try to restore, my restore is going to go fine. So you can see I no longer the finished restore. And let's restore now, put the database in mount, restore the database, recover the database, open the database, exit. So I'm going to run this all together, and I don't want to waste your time, but looks like the restore should go fine. It should not cause any problem. So let's see, you can see the restore has been initiated and it's running in the background. And to do that, what I did, so here only change was when it's not no longer using the wallet. When we take the backup, we will say set encryption on, identify by password only. And when we restore it, we will say set decryption, identify by password. So this particular command tells, use the Oracle, what is the password of that particular backups, the encryption password of that particular backups, which is used to decrypt this. So right now you can see, and we can see the database is open in the read write mode. So everything looks good. So this was the method of how to restore a password encrypted backup. And finally, as I mentioned, I'll just show it to you, but I'll not do this. What I'll do is how to take and backup, which is both dual mode encryption. So it is encrypted by password as well as by it is encrypted by password as well as by the wallet encryption. So to do that, what I'll do, I'll set this particular parameter. So here, if you see, this particular parameter is currently off. Configure encryption for database is off. I'm going to turn that particular parameter to on. Now, if I do show all, this particular parameter, you can see configure encryption for database is on. And then what I'll do, I will also set this particular password. So let me exit. And because this particular parameter is this particular parameter is a persistent parameter, so even if I exit, it will be still stay on. I don't have to show it to you. I believe you know it by now, but if you want, you can see that even if I disconnect from RMAN, that particular setting will remain. So let me exit, clear, and what I'm going to do now, again going to connect, and here I'm going to set the password, but here I'm not going to use that only clause. I'm just going to say set encryption for identify. And now whatever backup that I take, though this particular backup, now the next backup that I will be taking is password protected as well as wallet encryption, and this is called dual mode encryption. This is called dual mode encryption. And to restore this particular backup, you either need to specify the password using this particular command, or you need to copy your wallet. Either one is fine, you don't need both. So let me repeat what we have done here. Is we learned how to take the transparent RMAN encryption by using either set encryption on or this. For transparent encryption, you need a wallet, and we learned that without wallet, we will not be able to restore them. To encrypt the backups using password, we used this particular method, set encryption on, and to restore, while restoring, we use set decryption. And for dual mode, we configured the wallet, and we also specified the password protection as well as configure encryption. So this backup is both dual mode, and when you restore, you just need either the wallet or password. I hope this particular tutorial was useful. In this particular tutorial, we'll learn how to perform RMAN backup encryption and decryption, and how to restore it on a different server. Again, thank you for watching. See you in next tutorial. And if you do like the videos that I'm uploading, if you do like the content that I'm uploading, do subscribe to my channel, and see you in next tutorial. Bye bye.